This is PJNET.TV, and this is my perspective and comments. In this video segment of My Perspective and Comments, we cover politics, society here and abroad, and the events of the day that are shaping our nation. PJNET.TV, My Perspective and Comment, coming to you with a worldview, one nation under God. Welcome to My Perspective and Comments. And we're going to start out again, as we have been for years now, COVID-19. It's still with us. Omicron is still out there, and Delta is still out there. But the majority of the cases that we're seeing right now has been Omicron, and the majority of these cases have been a cold. And again, those that are negatively affected have primarily been the individuals that have the comorbidities and other areas that would weaken their immune system. And primarily we're seeing young people are not being drastically affected by Omicron. And it's to the point now where we're starting to see the so-called medical professionals starting to relax, or starting to talk about endemic, and that all these mandates that are out there, there is now talk about considering lifting them. But again, folks, as I have mentioned here, going back 2 years ago when this all started, and we started to see lockdowns, and flatten the curve turned into, well, we're going to have to add on here weeks and then months. And as I told you back then, these governors grabbed a hold of state of emergency, which gave them all kinds of power. And I had warned that it's going to be a fight to get our liberties and freedoms back. And what are we seeing? Not only in this country, but we're seeing these tyrants, tyranny tyrants, that want to keep their residents locked down, hidden away, and having the virtual signal of everyone having a mask on. And it has been very evident, quite evident, when we look at our kids in school, and how these tyrants are mandating our kids wear masks all day long in school. And we're also seeing these teachers unions also in the mix of saying, yeah, kids got to be, they have to be masked up, and we have to go through all kinds of gyrations to enforce this. And that's what we're seeing right now. And again, parents are starting to rise up and push back on this, and you're hearing the squealing of these teachers unions saying, uh-oh, these parents, they're out of control, they're domestic terrorists, and the like. You've heard it. We saw that was evident there in Virginia, and what actually took place there. Parents were heard, and parents voted in Governor Youngkin now because of it, because they were sick of it. And we had Terry McAuliffe, who was running in that governor's race. He was all for the teachers' unions and these mandates. And he was soundly defeated for that stand. But again, this is going to be a fight, and voices need to be heard. And again, pushing back on this. And the more that individuals, parents, people are heard saying, no, we don't want any more of this. And it's starting to happen. There's more and more people speaking up that, they're done with it. They're not going to do this anymore. And we're starting to hear that sentiment growing. And that's a good sign. But it has to be, you can't set back. This is going to have to be something we're going to have to demand to get back to normal. And we have Omicron, which is basically a cold, and we can live with Omicron. And it's time to get the masks off our kids and all the mandates that are out there. And we are starting to see states that are putting teeth in against what's going on in the school, and some of these school systems, saying that no, we don't care what the governor says. Where you're going to have to, kids, if you want to come to our school, you're going to have to wear a mask. And now these governors and legislatures are going to have to put some teeth and put it in writing, in law. That if these school systems are going to ignore that, there will be a penalty for mandating the kids to come in with masks when the state has said no more. So again, it's going to be a fight, and we already see the battle lines being drawn. Number one, teachers unions and those blue states seem to want to go along with this. And it's been evidenced right now when you look at some of these blue states and the job numbers and where they are where are those blue states in the economy of the nation, and they're on the bottom. They're struggling right now because that they still want to pay people not to work, and there's a problem, and we're seeing that. But it's really being evidenced in the blue states. So again, when it comes to COVID, we have rounded the corner. We are really in an endemic state, with Omicron being, yes, it's very infectious, but it's not raising havoc. Now, there are people, as I said, comorbidities that have pre-existing conditions that still, I mean, there is a danger there, and keeping those in the professionals, the patriotic doctors that were out there, the patriot doctors, have been saying 2 years ago that protecting the vulnerable, that was the emphasis. And what did we see in many of these blue states? They did just the opposite and put infected individuals in those facilities, those nursing homes and care units, and it was devastating in those facilities. So again, when it comes to COVID, we have Omicron, and it's not as deadly as the Delta. Sticking with COVID, and I mentioned, as I just got through mentioning and talking about, that this is a battle. There's another battle that's been raging in our fellow brothers up north here in Canada that we talked about last week, and the truckers, the massive truck convoys that have been in Canada from Alberta to Ottawa, and all converging there in Ottawa. And there have been some, a massive protest, and a lot has been going on there. Last week it started at the end of the week, and it's really building, and we're starting to see other nations. Australia was organizing a protest, truckers protest. We're starting to see here in the States, they're going to be doing something similar, and maybe having the Canadians and the American truckers all gathering to protest these the tyranny that's taking place, the mandates. You've got to get the jab, and basically closing the border, and or you can't cross the border unless you are vaccinated. And there is a tremendous display and pushback that's taking place, and we're starting to see here Justin Trudeau, he kind of skipped town, and I guess now they're saying that he got COVID. All vaxxed up, boosted up, and he's got COVID. So much for the vaccines. But what I like to do is to have us take a look here. Again, as I mentioned, we shared a bit last week with what has been going on in Canada, and I'd just like to give you, we've got some videos here, 2 or 3 videos that we'll be hearing from the truckers, hearing from the people that are there supporting those truckers, and wanting to getting their life back from what has been taking place there in Canada, the tyranny that's been taking place in Canada. So here, let's take a look at what's been going on in Canada when it comes to this massive trucking protest. Take a look.